From the News Channel 5 Network, this is Morningline.
Much for joining us today. I'm Cuthbert Langley in for Nick Barris, who is on a much-deserved holiday break. Speaking of the holidays, today we're going to be talking about travel, of all things. Of course, this is going to be one of the busiest times of the year for holiday travel, so I'm joined right now with two folks who know a whole lot about the travel season. The Commissioner of TDOT, John Schroer, as well as Stephanie Milani with AAA. They're going to be here answering any questions you may have today, and so if you do have a question, feel free to give us a call at 737+. We'll be taking any questions you have about travel or the roads. Of course, these guys know a whole lot. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, are you guys
Glad
excited?
to be here.
Are you guys excited for the holiday?
Yes.
Any plans, anything so far?
Staying around town.
Perfect.
Celebrating with the family.
Yeah, a little staycation. Much deserved, I'm sure.
Hanging out, that's right.
Okay, perfect. Well, let's just go ahead and get right into it. I mean, what's the forecast looking like for travel this year?
Record-breaking numbers. So AAA is forecasting that about 100 million people will travel. 90% of them will be by automobile. So if you are going to be out on the roads, you're in good company. That could also mean some headaches with traffic and congestion. So we try to tell people to be prepared ahead of time, leave a little bit early so that you don't hit those big cities during rush hour traffic, and that'll cut down on some of the frustrations out there on the roads.
Absolutely. I live in Charleston, South Carolina, so I usually have to go through Atlanta, and I just have to plan it out in advance just to make sure I don't hit 85 during 4, 5, and 6 o'clock, because it's always awful.
Right, and that's a good idea, and everyone should do that.
Yeah, look at that.
It's a good suggestion.
Changing the travel world this morning. And are there any specific days that have heavier volume than others? I mean, I'm sure there are.
Go now. No.
Right now. Just get
right
out.
now. But for Christmas, the earlier that you can leave and get there ahead of most of the traffic, a lot of people are going to go tomorrow or on Christmas Eve to get there for Christmas morning. If you're also traveling through New Year's, you might even want to stay till the 2nd or 3rd. Just go ahead and tell the family that you're moving in for a couple of weeks.
Absolutely.
Make yourself comfortable.
Yeah.
Don't leave till they kick you out.
All right, that's good advice. And of course, TDOT is doing a lot this holiday season to try to cut down on traffic because of the construction projects. Can you explain what's going on with that?
Well, we always stop construction during busy holiday weekends. So we will stop on the 23rd at 6 or 7 o'clock at nighttime, and won't start back up again until January the 4th. So now that means we won't have any construction lane closures. That doesn't mean that on a construction site that's already there won't already be an existent lane closure. But we know there's a lot of traffic. We know that the wrecks that we have in work zones can be really dangerous for everybody concerned, and so many people are on areas that they're maybe not familiar with because they're traveling in places they're not used to going. So we just cut every back. It's in our contracts with all of our construction people that the busy holidays we cut back. So that's one little thing that we can help do, and we'll be working a lot with our THP partners, and we'll be working on message boards and other things to make sure that people are notified about what's going on. Anybody can call our 511 to find out if anything is happening in the state of Tennessee. We also have a smart app that they can get so they can find out if there's congestion somewhere. They can find it on an app through TDOT, and so we're trying to keep the public aware. Our job is to make people aware of kind of what's in front of them so that they can be prepared for anything that might happen. Absolutely.
And are you guys going to be stepping up the amount of folks you have kind of there for roadside assistance, that sort of thing, in terms of TDOT?
Well, I know THP is and they're not under me. They're under the Department of Homeland Security and Safety, but they are stepping up their amount of patrol that they do. But we always have people ready for assistance. We have a program called Protect a Queue, which is our program to protect the people that are stuck in a queue from a wreck. We've been very successful about that. We may talk about that throughout the hour here.
Absolutely.
It's a pretty interesting program that we have. But hopefully things will go well. People need to slow down, and I'm going to say what Stephanie would always say: don't drink and drive, don't drive impaired, don't drive drowsy, don't talk on your phone, don't text and drive. Pay attention to what's in front of you, and it'll make a difference. Maybe you'll arrive safely both to and from your destination.
Absolutely. And Stephanie, I'm sure holiday travel can just be stressful regardless. 'Cause you got the kids in the car, you probably have the presents. Do you have any tips on how to make the travel less stressful for families?
Yeah, so a couple of things that we haven't mentioned already. You kind of touched on it. So make sure that you know what that route is going to be. Also look for construction, congestion, and consider going an alternate route. You may find that the alternate route will save you some headaches. It may take a little bit more time, but saving those headaches, it may be worth it. You also want to make sure that you if you're going to anywhere that there's going to be some winter weather or cold weather, make sure that you have an emergency kit. Even if there's not cold weather, it's a good idea to have some extra blankets, some snacks, some water in your car, some toys for the kids to play with that don't require batteries if you do break down. Because over the next 12 days of the holiday travel, AAA expects to help 900,000 motorists. That's a lot of people on the side of the road.
Right.
Most of those are going to be due to lockouts, but also dead batteries and blowouts for your tires. So those tire blowouts can happen on the side of a busy interstate. Typically, you're not going to lock yourself out on the side of the interstate.
Hopefully not. That'd be kind of bizarre if you did.
That would be kind of strange. And your dead battery is probably going to happen if you stop for gas or for food. But we want to make sure that people are preparing their vehicles before they travel as well. So take a second, go to your mechanic, have the oil changed if it needs to, ask the mechanic to do a quick overview, look at the tread depth. You can check that yourself. You also need to check your tire pressure, which you can do yourself. Those are some safety things, but it'll also help on your fuel efficiency.
Oh, that's a good advice. And gas prices, I mean, with how low they've been, that's amazing. The record lows they're almost at.
Right. We are at record lows, especially if you're traveling in the southeast. You are going to see all of the states except for Florida at or below $2.
Wow.
And 29 other states are below $2. So that's definitely good news for the budget.
Absolutely.
So I was in Memphis yesterday, $1.69.
Wow.
And we track fuel prices very closely, and in Chattanooga about the same price. So a little bit more expensive in Nashville and surrounding areas, but so we're well below the $2 range. Average, I think, is $2 nationally. So people can. Driving is in fact, gasoline's a lot cheaper than water these days. So
it's crazy how it's nice to not have to worry about how much is it going to cost to fill up, because obviously the conversation for the last 5 years has been how expensive they're getting, and now all of a sudden they're basically bottoming out. It's got to be great.
Well, and it's kind of staggering when you look at how much the individual driver has been able to save. It's about $500 per licensed driver. So if you think about that extra disposable income, it makes sense that there's record numbers of people taking to the roads and traveling because they have that money in their pocket to spend on gifts, on traveling, on fun things while they're visiting the family as well.
Is that why we're seeing a record number of folks this year, just because of gas prices? Is that pretty much the biggest factor going into that?
Gas prices are a huge factor, but also the labor market is coming back, and we're seeing that incomes are rising. So all of that contributes to the disposable income, and as we know, there's been a lot of people traveling this year on the roads.
Yeah, vehicle miles traveled is trending up, and from the kind of the decline after the recession that started in 2007. So we're back up to about 2006 numbers right now, and so economy doing it's one of the things that people can do and travel. Though it affects us as a department because as people are driving more, they're also getting better gas mileage, and that's an issue that we have with funding transportation because gas mileage, we get paid on a per gallon basis, and so as cars get better fuel efficiency, we receive less income. And so so what happens now is people are driving more, they're getting better mileage, we're getting about the same revenue, but the more people are on the roads, the more wear and tear they have on the roads, so it's kind of a double-edged sword for us. But it's good for the economy and it's good for people, and so we're trying to kind of get that situation worked out.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to take a quick break. If you have any questions about holiday travel, what you can expect, anything like that, give us a call, 737+. Meanwhile, we're going to take a quick break, but we'll be right back.